Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing my June wrap-up showing you all the books that I read in the month of June. So let's just get straight into it. I read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. This book is told throughout the story and it's also told without photos throughout. I'll show you the photos on the blurb because it's a struggle to find them throughout the book, but they are there and they're super creepy, as you can probably tell from the blurb. This book is about a boy named Jacob. Now Jacob's grandfather has always told him of these stories about these peculiar children and how he used to live with them. And Jacob never believed him until one day his grandfather dies and he says that the monsters killed him. Jacob decides to investigate his grandfather's death and it leads him to discover these peculiar children and discover that his grandfather's tales were real all along. I'm not going to get into too more detail about this because I have done a review on it and I don't really want to spoil anything, but if you are wanting to know more about it and hear my full thoughts on it, you can check out my review, which should be out shortly. But basically I rated this one a 4 out of 5 stars. After that I picked up the sequel Hollow City by Ransom Riggs. This book is the sequel to Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and again I really enjoyed this one as well. I'm not going to get into the plot for this one as it spoils the plot for the first one, but I really did enjoy this one too. I have done a book review of it, we're coming out soon, and again I rated this one a 4 out of 5 stars. After that I wanted something a little bit different, so I picked up The Playlist for the Dead by Michelle Forkoff. This book follows a boy named Sam, and one day Sam wakes up to find his best friend Hayden has committed suicide, and all Hayden has left is a suicide note with a playlist of songs on there which tells Sam that if he listens to it he will understand why Hayden did what he did. Sam is obviously very upset by this, and so he has to struggle trying to realise why Hayden did what he did, and he has to connect with people too because he's always had trouble connecting and try and solve the mystery of his best friend's suicide. I enjoyed this book, however I did have a couple of faults of it, and so I only rated this one a 3 out of 5 stars. Again, I have done a review on this one which should be coming out soon. After that I picked up Who Could That Be at This Hour by Lemony Snicket, and it is the first book in the All the Wrong Questions series. This book follows Lemony Snicket when he's about 11-12 years old. I can't remember his age now, but he was very young, and he is a detective and he's trying to solve a case of a statue that has been stolen, but Lemony kind of figures out that maybe it hasn't been stolen after all. I enjoyed this book personally, however it was at times childish and didn't really have themes that I was really looking for. It is a middle grade book, and with some middle grade books, you know, you can be whatever age and read them and still enjoy them just as much, but I think this one was really targeted toward middle grade people, and for that I just couldn't enjoy it as much as I would have liked to. However, I still did enjoy it and I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. Again, I have done a book review of this which should be coming out shortly. After that I picked up The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. This book follows a girl named Hazel, and Hazel lives in the town of Fairfold, and in the darkest part of the forest in this town of Fairfold lies a glass casket, and in this glass casket lies a fairy prince who has been asleep and no one can seem to wake him. And Hazel and her brother Ben often go to this fairy prince and make up stories of him, and both of them kind of have this crush on this fairy prince. Now obviously there are fairies in this book and the fairies are quite evil, however they don't really touch the townsfolk. However, the tourists that come to see the fairies and everything and the prince in the glass casket, they do make fun of, and sometimes they even murder them. This book was set in the modern day society, so I really liked how it mixed elements of fantasism and the real life society today. Like for example, some tourists were taking selfies with the prince. I liked that, and I liked how it was incorporated into this story. I thought it was done really well. I also really liked the character development in this book and the story. It is a standalone too, so that's always nice. Again, I have done a book review of this one. I know I've done a lot of book reviews and it should be coming out shortly, but suffice to say I love this one, and I think I rated it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. For the last book I read this month was Solitaire by Alice Osman. I've seen this book a lot around in Kmart and places and such like that, but I couldn't decide whether to pick it up or not, but I came across it in my local library, so I decided to borrow it out, and I'm really happy that I did because I actually really enjoyed my time reading this. This book follows a girl named Tori, and Tori is a cynical teenage girl. She doesn't get along with people in her school. She thinks they're all superficial and she just can't relate to anybody. She blogs a lot and she's just a typical kind of cynical teenage girl, and then suddenly pranks start happening at her school which goes by the name of Solitaire, and Tori suddenly gets dragged into the mix of it. I really liked Tori, and at some parts I could relate to her, sometimes probably more than healthy, and I really like that the author is also 18 years old. She was 18 when this book was signed, and she is also as cynical, so you could tell that, you know, Tori was, you know, a real kind of character in some aspects, and I really liked that. It says this is not a love story, and for once it actually wasn't a love story, and I really enjoyed that, because don't get me wrong, I love a good love story, but sometimes, you know, not everything has to be about love, so I really enjoyed that this one was not actually a love story. I rated this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I should be doing a book review on it shortly. Yo, we're back for another year. Alright, so you might notice that my appearance has changed, and that's because it has. I've had a shower, I have no makeup on, there's no product in my hair. Basically, I forgot to mention 2 books in my wrap up. I also mentioned that I read A Court of Thorns and Roses this month. I didn't. I read it last month. I'll cut it out like in the wrap up, but you'll probably see it like when I hold the books up. So just ignore it. I don't know what I was thinking. So I forgot to mention that I read How to Be Bad by E. Lockhart, Laura Merkel and Sarah Malowski. I got this book sent to me by Hotkey Books, so thank you Hotkey Books for sending it to me. And it's basically about 3 girls who are extremely different but decide to go on a road trip to escape where they are living in this town. I liked this book, however I did have some faults of it, but I've already done a review on it, so if you are interested in hearing fully what this book is about and if I liked it or not, you can check out my review, because you know you gotta get that self-promo, which I'll leave a link to the description in down below. That made sense. I don't know if it did, but I don't know, I'm tired. Next I read Head Over Heels by Jill Mansell, because she ain't no damsel. Oh, you see what I did there?
That's me.
This book was by Jill Mansell, because she ain't no damsel. I could totally be a rapper. Anyway, I can't remember what this book is about. Wait, no, wait, I do. I promise I'm not going crazy. This book be about, it's basically about this woman who'd be like pregnant like 19 years ago, and then she'd be like, whoa, the father of her son came back and now he'd be finding out and he's a famous actor, and it's told by multiple perspectives. And I have done a review on it where I actually do explain what this book is about coherently and explain my full thoughts on it, but right now it's just, this is all you're getting. There's no quality content tonight about these books and what they're about. I just read it this month. I think I rated it a 3 out of 5 stars. This is why I don't film at nighttime, apparently, because this happens. I'm sorry, let's get back to the normal video. Also, it might seem a bit rushed, the video. That's because we had to go out, and that's why I missed books. I'm sorry. So overall, in the month of June, I read 7 books. I didn't really read that much in the month of June. Like, if you look back at my other wrap-ups, you can see that I've read a lot more. But this month was just a really slow reading month for me. I just wanted to take things slow. I certainly hope, though, this month to jump straight back into reading and read a lot more. And you should like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you'd like to see more book-related videos from me, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye!
Do you know what you're referencing?
No.
That's the Madden 10 rap.
I don't know what a Madden 10 rap is. I just go, yo, we're back for another video.
Listen?
No, listen, I'm filming. I'm filming. I feel like Sailor Jupiter would say, yo, we're back for another year. Because she's like that really like, what is she? Like a badass? Like a, what are girls that are not girls? No, like the tough girls. What do they call them?
Tomboys.
Yeah, she's like a tomboy. So I feel like she's like, yo, we're back for another year. I feel like Sailor Jupiter would say that. But like if the Sailor Scouts like are fighting someone, she'd be like, yo bitches, we be back. I'm gonna turn off the camera now.